This episode's going to be about my experience publishing through different avenues, such as Webtoons, Amazon, Brick and Mortem, YouTube, and flea markets. On the first on my list, it's Webtoons and Tapaz. This one was the one that I had a lot of ups and downs with. The ups, honestly, is they are as they advertise. They have a huge audience for you to show your work to. And if I would use this for anything, it would mostly be for testing out if a story is good, honestly, because it's a for a lot of the people who are there, they're not really the majority of the people who are there. I assume they are there for the big talent, for like the Lore Olympics or whatever DC partnerships that they have for the month. They're not there for like the smaller creators. You're just like a little bit of a bonus. That's kind of how I saw it in my mind. It's kind of harsh, but it is what it is. That's how I felt. So I say it's like the biggest. I like my that was like my the lows that I felt, but the highest high that I felt were getting audience comments saying what worked, what didn't, what did they like, just general engagement of the story. I feel like they're good. I feel like I would use it as like a test. I'd use it to test if the story is good. Like if the story is good, or you can probably do some tweaking from there on out. For building an audience, that'll that will like translate to go follow you on different websites. I wouldn't bother, honestly. I wouldn't bother. The second on the list has to be Amazon and other PDF distributor websites like Kobo or whatever ish. Amazon, I feel like there would be more. I use it more for their printing. I think it's cool that they have that KDP, they have that KDP Select, but I haven't really gotten any downloads. Me personally, I haven't gotten any downloads from it. And if you're a small creator like I am, it's nothing but an uphill battle. The way that I experience it's just an uphill battle because you're gonna be plopped with around other people who wants the same kind of audience and traction that you do, and unless you're willing to like go to Fiverr and go to somebody who's willing to bump up your book sales, as I've heard. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it other than using their Ingram Spark integration to like get your book printed. Um, and usually for PDF distributor, where I am at personally, I'd rather people go to my website, follow my newsletter from there, over people following me on Amazon or Kobo or like uh, any other media outlet or any other outlet. But that's just me at this current point in time. Next are Brick and Mortem. From using Amazon's Ingram Spark integration, where they can actually print out your physical books. They provide you an ISBN and everything, and printing your book is really cheap. Printing your book is really cheap, and with after you get your book printed, they ship it to you. Your price is absolutely your price, and all that profit is you. But that has its own ups and downs. That has its own ups and downs. If you know how to sell, then you know how to sell, and that's a good thing, and that's like a very good deal for you. But Brick and Mortem so far has been not too keen for me specifically, because the way that my experience with it is that I would walk up to a store, offer them the book, they buy the book, and it's a similar situation with Amazon, but in a physical place. I would say Amazon and Webtoons. It's the same situation, but like in a different location. Where people who go to that store, they go there to expect like not something new, but something that's familiar to them. That's the reason why we get uh, endless amounts of sequels of like superhero movies, endless amount of sequels of video games. Is that people like what's familiar to them, and they are a lot less likely to go out of their comfort zone for something that is new, i.e., me or you or I'm like notoriety helps a lot. So when you're not known, it's going to be a whole lot harder to sell when you don't like show your face, if they don't see you behind it, because some people just, I don't know, well, some people just want to see their author. I don't know, but that kind of leads me to the next one, which is flea markets. Honestly, flea markets, and I think I'll say that for last, because that I'll save that one for last. YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, all that stuff. I got like that was like out of all of these, I think YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram is where I had the most eyeballs. But that has an asterisk beside it. Like all those eyeballs are completely different eyeballs compared to what you would get on Webtoons and Tapaz. With Webtoons and Tapaz, there are people who see your stuff, see it from the first chapter or the first whatever however you want to post it, first episode, whatever, and then they read it consecutively, if that's the right word. I'm sorry. If they read it consecutively. With YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, the way that they do it with their reels and all their other posts, it's always going to different people. And unless you're subscribed or you follow them, heck, not even on you, not like I can't even say that, because I would have like some post on each of those three platforms, and that doesn't touch everybody. That doesn't even reach my subscribers or followers or whatever they have. So that's a mixed bag. That's a heavy mixed bag. And you can try, and like I've tried exploring different ways to present my book on those three different platforms in ways such as chopping up my visual. I keep getting it mixed up. My motion comic. I chopped up bits and pieces of my motion comic and put it on the Reels, Shorts, and TikTok. And that would just get low interactions. That's fine. That's cool. I'll post just general pages. Same reaction. And then I try doing edits, try to be viral with it, and it's just another uphill battle with trying to catch the wave of these ever-changing algorithms. And it's a hill that I'm on again, doing all these different self-publishing methods. So now I'm trying to like view like how I would at first I made one type of content and just like threw the same kind of content at these three different platforms, and I would just see how they would get different results. Now that was probably not the best idea. Now the method I'm trying to go to is use the strengths of these individual platforms and not treat them as the same. Who knew, right? Like YouTube is trending more towards podcasts and longer form, what do they call it? Content. TikTok, they want to do longer form content, but it's a lot harder. It's still gonna be known. I feel like it's still gonna be known for like short form content. Yeah, it's like they're integrating longer form, but we'll see how that goes. And then Instagram, that's more for personal and work in progress stuff. That's what I've seen when I'm just scrolling up through the reels. But I'm pretty sure everybody's feeds are completely different, and the answer's out there. I just don't know it yet. And the final one flea markets. After printing things through Ingram Spark, I would take my books and sign up to be a vendor at my local flea market. And so far, this has been the best way for me to like make money through my books. Yes, there's like a couple of prerequisites that you need. You need a car to go to the flea market. You need to pay the rent to set up, and you got to have a little bit of a sales experience. But trust me, when it's kind of like doing this, setting up a podcast and like talking. The more you do it, the more you're a natural at it. The more things you can pick up like what to say, what not to say, what to include, what to leave out, and it really sharpens your conversational skills and like pitching ability. Because every time you talk to somebody new, you have to set up that pitch. You're trying to like sell them the book, and you're trying to sell them yourself at the same time, and that's a thing that requires a lot of trial and error. But the more you're exposed to it, the more you'll pick up on it, and the more you're successful. But the downside of that is it's only on the weekends. Also an upside of it, flea markets are very cheap to be a vendor at, honestly. I prefer it more than cons or pop-up shops at this moment. I haven't gone to cons or pop-up shops. I'll probably do an update of this video talking about how those conventions and pop-up shops have been for me. But as of right now, they're pretty expensive. Honestly, my flea market, like it's like $50 for a weekend, but for pop-up shops, it's around around 80 or something like that, or 100, and conventions are up to be like too expensive, like 200. Sometimes I hear like maybe 1,000 just for one day. If it's like depending on like how big the convention is, and I'm like, nah, who do you think you are? You gotta pay me for that. Sorry, dog. I don't care how many people are going there. You gotta pay me for that. So that's me. That's my idea. That's where I am at this current time and space of this self-publishing journey. So that's all I have for today's content. My mind, I'm just brain farting everywhere. Sorry. That's all I have for today. Make sure you leave a comment, subscribe, like, dislike, let the algorithm know, so it can help us all out. Check out my book, Purgatory Academy, books 1 and 2, and Chimera Island, up on my website at masonymous.com. Leave me a Q&A. Leave me a question in the comments, so I can have a good Q&A session. Let y'all know. Let me know what type of content you want to see in the future. And that's about it. Take care.